Good morning, everybody. Go get your coffee. Come on. Thank you, Sir Paul McCartney, who gave me personal permission to use that. Believe it or not, I got connections. All right. Sir Paul McCartney, can I have a couple of pounds? I'm a little short this week. All right, excuse me. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Okay, everybody. On your mark, get set, go. Richard Kuklinski. Richard Kuklinski. Say that fast 5 times. Richard. Let's just say the Iceman. The Iceman. I'm sure everybody heard about this guy, the Iceman. And Mike Francis spoke about him. Sammy the Bull spoke about him, and Roy DeMeo, and they made a movie about it. Rah, 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 blah, blah, blah. This is the Iceman. The Iceman and my Godfather played the same type of role where the Iceman did work for family. Richard Kuklinski did work for different families for hire. My Godfather did different work for different people for hire. And, Mike Francis, right, he's okay. He's okay. But I don't know. I started watching something before, and, Mike Francis might say, oh, well, I didn't know anything about him, or I didn't know anything about that, or Sammy the Bull. What do you think? These guys were privy to everything that went down in New York City with 85 million people? 10 million. But what, there's such big ego shots that if Mike Francis didn't hear about that, or Sammy the Bull didn't hear about it, it didn't happen? Really? Really? Don't get too big for your britches over there. I mean, come on. Enough's enough. All right? They knew Richard Kuklinski. My godfathers told me that somebody, they used, what was it, sodium pentanol? A shot. And what was in that shot? Like the Iceman said, a heart attack. So, if you want somebody whacked without the blood and guts, and you could get close enough to them to jab them and walk away, excuse me, you could be anywhere, excuse me, boom, they get poked, they have a heart attack, it's all over. Oh, what happened to Sammy No-Nos? Well, I don't know, he was at the store, he was doing this, and he had a heart attack. There's no blood and guts, there's no revenge, there's none of that. So that went on, and Mickey, my godfather, knew him because they were getting different contracts on what was what. The families know, the 5 families know when they want to outsource to do a hit, they know who those people are. And it's just like you get touted. If you're the best at it, you get touted at it, and just like anything else. So they know who the people are. And of course, before that, they had other techniques other than that heart attack, that sodium pentanol. I think it was sodium pentanol. Forgive me if it's not. But there was other techniques, torture and everything under the sun as far as violence and hurting somebody. But they came up with, that was happening. And I can't remember. There was a captain or a boss, and maybe the Lucchese family, and they said he had a heart attack. He had a heart attack, but not a natural heart attack, because somebody in another family, that might have been when they were having the wars. The families were warring, and it was bloodbath everywhere. And if you could give somebody a heart attack, or if there was peaceful times, and you don't want to do a violent hit with blood and guts, throw a heart attack in there. It won't cause any friction. And I love Mike Francis, Sammy. They do their thing, but I really like Mike. But if he's on there saying, well, I never heard of the guy or whatever, so that means it didn't happen. I mean, so that means none of that happened because Mike Francis doesn't know something happened, because he's the king mafia YouTube guy. If he says it didn't, if he didn't hear about it, then it didn't exist. It didn't happen. Come on, folks. You want some swampland? I got some for you. So that's entertainment, because he's supposed to be the smartest guy. He's supposed to be, which he is. I mean, which he portrayed. Yeah, we understand that. But there's other people that rocked and roll that have fascinating backstories and everything else. And then they get on there. Did Richard Kuklinski lie? And then it's all everything else. You people just hear the gossip of whoever's spewing that garbage. And if it fits your thinking, then that's all right. And that's your right to. You have your right to. But holy cow, man, the insatiable demand for these stories from Sammy the Bull and Mike Francis, the biggest personalities, gangster channels, and everybody sitting on their edge of their seat, and whatever they say is fact. Because Sammy the Bull didn't know about it, because he's trying to downplay the Iceman. Why? Because he couldn't shine the Iceman's shoes. That's why. Jealousy. And Sammy ordered more hits than he participated in. When I said, well, nobody knows how many hits Sammy did, 20, 60. Well, not physically pull it. They ordered the hits. Get that straight. The serial killers like Roy DeMeo and the Iceman for hire rivaled all of these guys that you see on YouTube. They rivaled all of them. Like I did that on my friend Big Gene DeFrancisco. They rivaled these guys. They rivaled them. The Rochester mob. They rivaled them. Believe me, they rivaled them. I seen what happened in Rochester afterwards, and Big Gene. And I seen there, yeah, murder is murder. I understand that. But the New York, and I'm from Brooklyn. Grew up in Western New York. But I seen, that's my opinion, because I am not the end all on mafia. I'm not the end all knowledge of that. But if you got eyes to see things, you could just say, well, geez, as a regular viewer, as a regular normal human being in society, and you're viewing this stuff, you would say, well, everything that Mike Francis says is the way it is, and everything Sammy the Bull says is the way it is, and whatever anybody else says, or whatever any other stories out there, he can critique and to determine whether they're right or wrong. Sorry, but no. Because maybe the Iceman hit some of the people in his family. That's why. Maybe the Iceman hit some of those people in those crews. So now he doesn't want to acknowledge that, because the Iceman snuck in the back door and got somebody. So it's like, oh, I don't know. I never heard of the guy. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Yeah. You might not have heard of him, but you've seen the results. Okay. It's fascinating, my dear people. It's fascinating. It's quite fascinating. And Roy DeMeo, and then they try to discredit what everything because you got these Cinderella profiles, personalities, and all they want is their narrative to be the true information on the YouTube channel Information Highway. Well, it's not like that 100% of the time, my dear friends and good people. If you vote for me on November 4th, I will promise to lower taxes. All right, enough of that. So, like I'm politicking to get your, you know. So, the Iceman was a freelancer. My godfather was a freelancer because they were ballsy enough to say, I don't need to get initiated into your crime family and follow your rules and all of that stuff. You want something done? Pay me. I'll do it. I'll do it better than anybody. That's how they rolled. That's how they rolled. They didn't fear anybody in organized crime. The organized crime feared them. And that's why organized crime came to my godfather and the Iceman and said, we need some work done. Not fixing a flat tire on a car. We need some work done. So, I mean, come on. That's the way it is. But the Iceman, he had a checkered upbringing, you know, like they try to do the profile on the childhood of these serial killers, psychopathic killers, and they try to psychologically figure it out, human behavior, if they were abused when they were younger, and then they grow up to be psychopathic serial killers. But the Iceman did go through some crazy stuff when he was younger. Yeah, but maybe he might have just evolved into that killer anyways. But my godfather is the flip side where he was intelligent. He could have played pro football. He went to university for a minute and he roomed with the running back from the Green Bay Packers. I can't even remember his name. And my godfather had a really high IQ. And he was meticulous in, you know, as far as how he became who he became, a hired killer. You know, however Mickey got there and however Richard got there, well, they got there and they were hands, they did work. But these other guys want to say they want to discredit it. They want to discount it because Roy DeMeo and the Iceman and people like that and Mickey, all the other gangsters, they try to demonstrate, hardcore, they got balls, blah, blah, and you know, yeah, and they're the toughest mentality and they're the biggest intimidators. Nobody can out-intimidate them. But here comes my godfather and here comes the Iceman, and they're not intimidated. Because they will come. If you can't clip them, they know they will come and kill women and children. I don't know about my godfather. I'm not going to put that on him. So they could play that intimidating card and everything else. And you know, who's the biggest intimidators? Sammy the Bull, Mike Francis. There can't be anybody else there that intimidated the mob, that didn't fear the mob. You couldn't shake these people down. You couldn't shake them down. This was a whole different breed of people that I call the shadow men. And I seen a couple other shadow men. And I thought they were nice guys. I'm sorry. Just like Big Gene DeFrancisco. Google him. Look him up. But he was good to me. He was good to me. And the Rochester mob was just as treacherous as the New York mob. Violence and murder is murder. But when it comes to intimidation and power, which these crime families wielded to get their way, it didn't happen that way all the time. Mike Francis and Sammy the Bull, it didn't happen that way all the time. There were people out there that were just freelancers, and if there was jobs or work that had to be done, they would do it. You know, like the mafia outsourced hits. Not because they're weasels or anything, but it's just the way it was. They were smart, intelligent people. You see these shadow men, these murder for hire. They all demonstrated a unique personality type. When I see the Iceman, I see my Godfather. The Iceman did his videos. I could see my Godfather in the same posture and thinking. But my Godfather didn't get convicted for murder. The Iceman did. So he was smarter. I'm biased. I'm biased, folks. So that's all that. But, you know, Mike Francis. So nobody can intimidate the mob. Really? Okay. Sammy the Bull's just the toughest guy that was ever in the mob, and nobody stepped up to him or their family. I mean, no, it's Mike Francis, who I love, Sammy the Bull, but it's just not their narrative, because they didn't know about a guy running around New York doing contracts. So they're trying to discount it because, you know, if they didn't see it or hear about it, then it didn't happen. And the mob couldn't be intimidated by some guy that wasn't in the family. Wow, what would that do to the image of the mob, Mike or Sammy, that, you know, somebody could intimidate some of those families? You know, that doesn't look good for the crime families, that there could be an unmade guy out there doing things, whether you like it or not. Yeah. That's why my Godfather told them in the streets of Manhattan and Brooklyn, anything happens to JoJo, I'll come up and kill your family and everybody else, but God forgive me. God forgive me. God forgive me. So when the Cayunes are really the Cayunes, and this is an unmade guy, that does work and had a good relationship with all the families. But when the rubber hits the road, they know that this guy can lay in the shadows and ambush you and your loved ones. God forbid. God forbid. So be careful what you do, because then you got to take a couple steps back, and you ain't just tough guys that you portray here and there, because there are people that will just put you in checkmate. So that's that. But they're trying to discredit other people's narratives because it doesn't follow their narrative. And hey, Mike, John. Yeah, see, the people that were in there know. Mike, John, thank you. Nice to meet you. They have this narrative of, you know, everything's just Sammy the Bull or Mike Francis social media. But it's not like that. It's entertainment. I understand. I appreciate this good gentleman coming in here. And he says, my good friend's brother went out with Karen Gravano back in the day when they lived in Staten Island for 8 years on and off. And let me tell you, my friend, he was way tougher than Samuel. Yeah, I mean, geez. But see, Mike, on the entertainment and YouTube, nobody could be tougher than them. They got that persona and nobody else. That's the narrative. That's the narrative. And Mike Francis, if he didn't hear about stuff that went on in a city with 10 million people, then he's questioning it, Mike Francis, because if it doesn't go with his flow and his narrative, then he's just discounting it. He's disclaiming it. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you one thing. The Iceman did some work. Who knows the numbers? Because I can't sit here and claim I didn't hang out with the guy every day. But we get on these social media platforms and then somebody claims to do this and somebody, and maybe there was personal interaction. Now, personal interaction, firsthand accounts, yes. Because I could be saying the wrong stuff. I'm man enough to admit it. I could be saying some wrong information. I understand that. Mike, John, and Uncle D, I understand that. Yeah. Oh, I watched that. Calandra, yeah. They were running around in Calandra down in Ozone Park, and because they figured out a new hustle. YouTube hustle. They're getting monetized. Their channels are building. My channel ain't never going to get monetized. I do the spiritual devotion on here. I do these stories, my friends, but I also do a spiritual aspect of my oh, wow. Jeez, Uncle D. Gosh. Holy cow. But I like to, so for me on my channel to have some content. Yeah, okay. I was born in Brooklyn and I moved to Western New York, and my godfather was in Brooklyn that I speak on, Mickey Campanella. I don't like using the name, but I'll use other gangsters' names, but I don't like to use, I don't know. I respect him being dead, but then I do it. I whore myself out. Nice, yeah. Because sometimes I do this and I say, no, I'm going to do that. Let me be scrupulous. God rest the dead. What do? I whore myself out and I use their names. Even Big Gene DeFrancisco from Rochester was a great man. Hired and killer, but I liked him. What are you going to do? That's the way it is. But the Iceman, there's so many different stories about him, but even if Mike Francis or Sammy the Bull and they want to discount, well, let the Iceman say whatever he said during those interviews, because he ain't there. Well, because Mike says what he does on his channel. So I mean, it gets to that, he's lying, he's telling the truth, he's lying, he's telling the truth. I'm lying. I'm gonna start just making up shit. I got nothing left, folks. Forgive me, Father. Forgive me, Mother. Forgive me, daughter. Forgive me, Grandpa. Forgive me, my beautiful niece. I just like to have fun. Yeah, he goes on, blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you something, Uncle D. He claims he was in the hole, okay? Then he had the Bible, he was in the hole and everything else. He was very powerful with that money and everything else. Other schemes other than the gas scheme. But you don't think he was cooperating during those times when he has that thing with yeah, open up the church. See, mm, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and a friend of mine wanted me to go down there and say, "Hey, remember me?" I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. Or what? Remember me? You know, he'd say, "No, I don't remember you." Like, what? I'm supposed to kiss his ass? I don't care about him. He ain't helping me out. He ain't putting no money in my pocket. Remember me? No, I don't care about him. I don't care about him. I got a channel. It's never gonna be big, but I enjoy it. It's therapy. It's a hobby. I enjoy connecting. I like talking to you guys just to shoot the shit around. And I don't like to, I don't like to bash. I bashed him once upon a time. Then I said I wasn't. Now I'm whoring myself out again and bashing him. But I just get pissed off when they just think their narrative is the true gospel fact. And what anybody else says, wasn't. Yeah, who knows what the true story is about the Iceman? But I knew a couple. You knew the brother. Wow. Me, you guys must have a couple of dollars, Mike. You might have a couple of dollars out there. My brother was born in Long Island. Whether that means anything, I don't know. It don't mean we never had any money. We never had any money. Somebody bought Paul Castellano's house. What about Paul Castellano's house, Mike? What was it, like the White House? If you're still with me, my friend. Paul Castellano, didn't he have a house over there? It was like with the pillars and all of that. Oh, all right. Geez, Mike, man, nice to meet you. That's cool to be in here, you guys. I'd love to move back to New York and there's just something different in the air. Just something different. I like the country out here. I'm in the country, but you could take the boy out of Brooklyn, but you can't take Brooklyn out of the boy. Just something about it. Exciting feeling. All the different cultures. It's alive with a pulse and well, it's not the same today as it was before, but we know why, because, we don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to pollute my channel with politics today. Wow. Oh, man, Mike. See, there's still people around. There's still people around. Wow. I hear you, man. I think it was was there a Caledonian hospital? Mike, Caledonia Hospital. It's on my birth certificate. I'm brain dead. Avenue D, Caledonian Hospital, near like, I don't know, was it Bruckner Boulevard or whatever? See, I overdosed and I went brain dead, and I got my memory back, but I'm sharp again. And there's a whole backstory to me. That's too long to unpack. But okay. Way back, I was born in 1963. But and Mickey Campanella was friends with my father, and I became his godson. Yeah, I come back to life, and I don't know about you, but we were born Christian, and confirmation, and that's my niece's and I seen the spirits and demons. We won't get into that. I seen the angels and demons. I wrote a book. They dead missed. I give it away. It's on Amazon. I sold 3 copies, but I wrote it in tribute to God. Yeah, every day. So I'm on borrowed time. So I do this for a hobby, and I enjoy it, and reminiscing about those days will never be here. Oh, you know what? Everybody says, well, does the mob exist? What, Mike John, thank you. I really appreciate that. I can't thank you enough. What do you think about the mob existing today in New York? Or whether you don't want to speak on it, I don't know. All right. Jeez. Like, in what capacity? Loan sharking? Because gambling is legal. I mean, do people still use the old-fashioned bookies? They must use the same. I know a couple guys up here that use, they got big bettors that just don't want to go in there. And then if you have to cash a big ticket at a casino, then you got to sign for it. Oh. Well, yeah, see. I think bookmaking will always exist, even though it's legalized in the casinos and everything, because some players just don't want to walk in those places and be on cameras. And then if you cash for a certain amount of money, you got to sign for it. Who wants that? Because the government's got their hands in it. It's legal when the government does it. We all know that. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. There's always a cop on payroll. Always. And there was. Yeah. I knew a crooked one in Buffalo. That, yeah. And you could settle. See, you don't have to do all the transactions. You just call. You could settle at 5,000 or whatever. There's more leeway. There's just more leeway. But I get aggravated because my grandfather was a hard worker at a factory, but he did booking on the side. All right. See, now they want your FanDuel bank information, of course, to put a deposit in there. But then you're on record with the FBI to come in. They can look at anything they want. So you're opening up your personal life to them. When I can't just have a relationship with a guy, how much do I owe or how much do you owe me? We'll settle up. I'll meet you at the coffee shop and we'll settle up. So the filthy government, it's legal when they do it. But so, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense that there's people that want to just remain anonymous. They don't want to walk in these casinos or be on record with FanDuel. Yeah, rackets. With other third-party people knowing your information. It's Gestapo. It's Marxism. It's communism. It's a new age. But my grandfather years ago was taking 25-cent daily doubles and 50-cent daily doubles, and they busted him in the street like a serial killer. Really? That's why, I have a sour feeling. He wasn't a gangster. He was a hardworking man. He just was taking a $20 book a week, and they treated him like Al Capone, like I mean, yeah, in Hicktown, USA. In Hicktown, USA. And now the casinos and the slot machines and the sports betting, and now it's acceptable. It's part of the culture. The 17 and 18 and 19-year-olds are growing up in this environment in which when we were coming up, it was taboo. I was running errands and doing some things for the bookies, running errands. And, I was pretty crafty running errands, but, to go through all that stress and pressure, and then today, 40 years, 35 years, it's legal. Like, really? You wasted all your resources and everything trying to shake down bookmakers, and then it's like, now you're promoting it with the commercials on TV. That's the evolution of gambling in America. That's the evolution of it. I just feel sour because it affected people I knew personally as a 60-year-old. I just see the hell that some of them went through and did time, and their family suffered the fallout from that. Where now they're doing commercials and everything. It's all right and fine and dandy. And, well, that's that, man. Mike John, I really appreciate your input on here. I got a small channel, 100 subscribers. I tell a lot of different stories and everything. I got too much time on my hands. And I do a spiritual aspect. And it's just therapy. I sit in my house. You can only bet the horse. I bet the horses and then go to the casino and bet the parlays. And now, I'm going to the casino to bet football parlays. Times are truly a-changing. Yeah. Well, and then you talk to somebody and then you're incriminated, and it's just like crazy. Did you know any Matafuscos? I don't know. I shouldn't be saying names. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. I shouldn't be saying that. What the hell's wrong with me? They're so concerned about bookies. What's the difference? A personal bet for between two human beings. Okay. A personal bet between two human beings. What is it the governor or the government's business? Because they don't have their hand in it. So the government wants in on the rackets. The government prosecuted these guys, ruined them, ruined their families because they didn't have a hand in the rackets. 30 years later, the government's running the rackets. And that's why my balls that's why I get aggravated. It's just like, really? All that collateral damage that happened back then, all the children that were going to the prisons and visiting their fathers, all the children that were going to the graveyards and visiting their loved ones. And now the government says, oh, it's okay now. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why. I used to see a couple guys in prison. Then I stopped. You got to sign in on the record and go to prison. I'm not going to visit nobody. Yeah, every state, all the sites, everything, they're getting the VIG. Because I personally remember in a small town what they did to my grandfather, who was a hardworking, DraftKings, FanDuel, and they made him look like a seasoned criminal and worked hard. And so when this stuff happens now in this current day and age, it's like, come on. Pansies. Complete pansies. But blah, 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 blah. We just like to enjoy our lives now. We get some action. I bet a couple small parlays. Now I go to these places and put my little $10 four-teamer in, And now I'm older, so I accept it. I get aggravated, but I can compartmentalize compartmentalize it. Say, yeah, that's the way it is. Blah blah blah. Let me go get down. I need action. Let me get down. I don't have a lot of money. I'm on certain limit, and I don't have a lot of money. So now it's quiet. I enjoy. I do my little channel, and it's nice to interact with somebody there that's got more knowledge than me. People out there. I don't know everything. I'm just little old cup of JoJo. I'm not a tough guy and all that stuff. I watched that game. Oh my gosh. Wow. That was Kansas State. Yeah. Wow. That was crazy. That was, and in Oklahoma. And what were they? 2 touchdown? Yeah. And he threw for 1. Did he have 5 touchdowns? He's running loose like a maniac on the field. And they didn't put a spy on him. Jeez, if he beats you downfield because you got they're doing this cover 2 or whatever, these defensive schemes, but put a spy on him. He's running loose like a gazelle down the field. Oh, okay. Wow. And the money line must have been 3-1. I don't know. To take Kansas City. Oh, yeah. Texas. There are some games on late night. Even the BYU game and whoever the hell it was. But these college teams are just Jekyll and Hyde. And one week they look like the kings, and the next week they look like paupers. That's why bookies made a lot of money. Oh, Texas Tech, that was an upset. Oh, yeah, Clemson should have lost that game. Yep. Ain't that something? That's why the they take the action. That's why the bookies. And I remember what they had in some of those packages when they were running a network across the Northeast, and yeah, why is that? It's like they bait you in, and then all of a sudden, makes me wonder. I don't understand. Sometimes I just don't understand if it's turning into the WWF. But I think I mean, it's kind of hard to fix things, but right. I mean, yeah. Well, it's just like the NBA when they were rigging the refs, and a couple of players came out now and they started talking about it because, like Rasheed Wallace and a couple other guys. Yeah, it's entertainment, and they were telling the refs to call certain penalties and fouls on certain players, get them in foul trouble, so they can have their most attractive final matchup, being the NBA championship, the Super Bowl. They want 2 marquee names in big markets. So it is like the WWF. Because those refs even came out and wrote books and everything else, and they admitted it thereafter. And they're like, well, I'm sorry. And they were telling people how they were going to rig the games. But see, they got stupid because a lot of times they just make one big bet. You need 20 guys, but then there's 20 more people that can turn on you. But you got to spread that money out. And now the FBI wants to know when you do a transaction over five. I mean, what's the FBI got to know about? If you do a transaction, or even if in Western Union, what does the FBI got to know about that for? It just makes me crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, man, Mike. That's it. That's Tim Donaghy, man. And he was on a split screen with Rasheed Wallace and another guy. Jimmy, let's go, Buffalo. Hurricane Josh is coming to Florida. Yep. Yeah, can you imagine the other countries and them soccer games? I mean, gosh. Who would even take the action? Who would take the action? Oh, man. They had some games fixed in Western New York where but Vegas still had a line on them. Vegas still put a line on small schools. And it's easier not to score in basketball than to score. So, or get in foul trouble. So the couple of star players are just one star player. Instead of winning by 8, just win by 2. That's all. Your team still won the game, but they didn't cover. Just as long as your team won the game. There were some small schools in Western New York, and I'm not going to get into all that, but people got to them, and they spread money out. They had people in different casinos that would just spread the money out and not raise a red flag. And they did it for a long period of time. Yeah, the Dolphins, man. Yeah. The Dolphins were fast breaking down the field. Boom, 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 boom. And I thought they had a stronger defense than that. The Ravens, I mean, the Ravens were going up and down, but NFL, I mean, it's promoted for scoring now. It's tough to have a defensive team in today's NFL. Back in the day, like Chicago had defense, the Bills had defense, the Giants had defense. Yeah. If that's a field goal game, that's what you're thinking. If you got them teased minus or and you're going to get +4, you could cover if it's a field goal game. Yeah, I mentioned that when I was going over the lines a couple of days ago. I think the Ravens, I mean, I think the Ravens, I don't, I think that's a 5-star, that's a 5-star special because just the athleticism. Sooner or later, the Ravens defense has to come around. Yeah. You could tease them. Yeah, you could do the odds on the machine. You could do the odds on the machine and switch them up and lay more. And I mean, you could tease 3 games. I don't want to get into all the mathematics. We all know. We all know what it is. But that game, man, the Ravens, they must have went home and thinking, what just happened? Jeez. My mind with the Ravens. Yeah. That looks very attractive. That looks very, very attractive. What would the odds be on that? What would be the odds on a particular that 3-game teaser? What would the odds be on that? Because I can't remember. Can you get 3-1? Or I'd like to get even money on that kind of bet. Oh, the Jets game, right? Oh, yeah. Wow. You talk about bad beats. Bad beats. Years ago, there are people in my parking lot. They like to settle on certain days. There are guys waiting in the parking lot. Hey, no Billy and Tommy. They ended up losing. What? Yeah. Get lost. Bad beats. Bad beats. It's just crazy. Oh, 3. So it is like that. It's 4-5. If they're all cherries. But you know what I would do too, Mike? I'd put in the normal line. I would bet that bet also without the tees. So, I mean, for a small amount, just to say, yeah, I caught this, 5-1, 6-1. Because you do like them for a reason, and you like them with the tees, but I'm not sure. Maybe you might like them also without the tees and get true odds. Everybody does their own. Oh, yeah. Now on the line on the machine, when you could go up and get odds, I would go to the Ravens -13 if they win by 14. I'd go to the Ravens -13 and get 3.5 to 1 on the bet. Just so I could try to maximize if it's a blowout or whatever. So I want to get rewarded if they do rock and roll. Everybody does their own thing because there's no science. We both know it. I've seen everything from A to Z, but how to maximize our bet, how to structure bets to have the best advantage going in. You'll be nuts like me if you try. Phew, yeah. That's like 1 to 9. People lay it. Even with the live bets at the casino when you're betting on live bets. And people will lay 10,000 just to try to get back 1,000. People will lay it. Man. Yeah. Some of it's just cherries. But then at a certain point in the game, there's just no more betting. There's just no more betting. But sometimes they take the lines down. But that's interesting. I do like the flexibility that you can do now on the machines. Yeah, see? That's what I would like to mess with is the totals. Yeah, it's a blitzkrieg scoring and everything, but if it stalls 1 quarter, the over's done. The over's done. Yeah. You could tease. Yeah, you can, yeah. And get that -120, 140 or whatever it is. Because it's like a cherry, more or less. Do everything like we say, to get the best of it as much as you can. I took statistics and probability also in university and stuff. And my professor used to go to Vegas in disguises, and we used to shoot dice in the classroom in the college and do all these blackjack. We used to do a lot of stuff. But he said, just got have the best of it going in. That's all you could do, win or lose. Have the best of it in gambling terms. So we love the action. We love the action. I never I took the action on a small level once upon a time, and I used to tweak the lines a little bit. And then people would say, you got a bad line. Well, middle me with the other guy. Middle me. Don't tell me I got a bad line. Middle me. Middle me. I was working for somebody else, and they were like, well. Middle me. If I got a bad line, expose it. Expose it. But I was on the right side all the time. Yeah, tweak the lines. Tweak the lines. What a luxury in today's world. In today's world, you can leverage, you can lay, you can get the best of it the other way. Man, a crafty gambler could bob and weave, and I knew gamblers that never won the whole season. The customers, they just never won. I knew guys that went 0 for 16 a million years ago. They never won. I felt sorry for them. They just never won. And everybody wants to bet parlays back then. A lot of people, some people would like to make flat bets, but a lot of people wanted to make parlays. And it's tough. And then some people want to attack your book and try to make a big bet on a team. Now, if you're in Buffalo, Western New York, everybody's going to be betting the Buffalo Bills. 90% of your action on that game is going to be with the Buffalo Bills. And I used to mess with the line. Oh, college and NFL. When you see, Mike, a lot of people could be great handicappers. Oh, yeah. This is what I want to stress, because I know you're cerebral. A lot of people are good handicappers, but a lot of people are bad gamblers. People are good, but see, they don't know how to integrate, mix it up, the teaser, boom, 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 boom. A lot of people could handicap, but then not utilize that in their betting strategy. If they don't marry, then you see, that Oklahoma game, that was insane. And historically speaking, they always had problem with Kansas State or something. This Kansas State has never been nothing. But see, there's a lot of unranked teams that just, that, they could play strong. Who the hell knows? It's easier after the game. I like the money. That's what I like to mess with sometimes. I go up there and make small parlays. I'll take a team -7 or I'll take a team +7 and just use that money line and get odds. So if I do that with 4 teams, make 4 underdogs just money line then the odds go up. I want to bet small and make a big score because then it multiplies out to a big thing. So I want to bet small, make a lot. But you can get that those teasers, and that's like a cherry to get the best of it going in. When you could tweak that systematically, take it. But me, I don't have a lot of money, and I only have so much disposable income, and so I'll try to make these dogs money line, so my dogs aren't getting any points, and then that game they might be plus 350, parlayed onto another team plus 220, whatever it is, and then it goes up. I watched Anthony Ruggiano last week. I like him. No kidding. I watched him. Didn't he do the split screen with Mike Francis? I like him. Oh yeah, I like him. I like him. He was with Gotti and Sammy the Bull and them, right? I like him. And his father was Fat Andy or something, right? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I like him, man. You know, you see gangsters and mafia, they have this persona, and yes, that was a treacherous life. But man, I knew people. We used to laugh and have fun, but that doesn't get a lot of views on YouTube. That doesn't get a lot of views. But they were nice times, nice people. But Joe Blow says, "Oh, well, they were killers." Well, but I like him. No, I never saw them. I'm going to check them out. No, they're they have channels. Man, everybody's got a channel. Holy cow! This is just little old cup of JoJo. I ran around for half a minute, and Casey, man. You know, I don't know. In my mind, in my psyche, I always just thought, in my not thinking that like Lucchese was like up. I just thought they were up on stuff, but they're somewhat ruthless. Oh, all right. I gotta check that out. Oh, all right. Well, that's fun. You know, I sit home. I like to watch some things. Yeah, wow. That's cool. That's cool. Lucchese, they made a lot of money too. Well, whoever had the airport, whoever gets the airport, it's. Oh, okay. I can't believe it. Well, you see, this is what I was saying earlier, Mike, that if you just don't hear Mike Francis or Sammy the Bull or John Gotti, like there's other people that rock and rolled. But Joe Viewer just thinks that That's the end all of that life. That, you know, if Mike Francis didn't say it, or Sammy the Bull, or whatever, they just think that's that. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy. I wrote a memoir, and I don't sell it. I don't tout it. It's called They Dead Miss. That's me. I'm a little boy, 4 years old. And it's just a memoir about different topics and everything. But I have stories in there that I don't want to say on here, you know, or whatever. They're not incriminating, but I just, someone told me about 2 or 3 guys they read. Like, what did they get into? But there were a lot of informants. Those no, I don't watch it. But they had those what do they call them? Like those coffers? 302, 303, the coffer, and then they X everything out and they blank stuff out and they go this or that. And oh, a proffer. Oh, a pov. Oh, it's called proffer. What am I getting? Coffer. I don't know. Oh, the proffer. Half the things are blacked out, and then there's only 4 sentences. And boy, oh boy. Yeah, I mean, people are just anything goes. It's just a rodeo. It's a rodeo. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I said in other videos, they were cooperating before the world knew they cooperated. They cooperated before the world knew they cooperated. Even like that guy from Philadelphia, that psychopath, he was dealing with them for 40 years. Oh, wow. Yeah. That I just don't like her posture and demeanor. I don't know, but who am I? That's you know, Italian women. I love Italian women, but geez, they're strong. Italian women are strong. They're no pushovers. No, Danny Trio. No, but I'm gonna check back and I'm gonna check them out because it's fun. It's fun, you know, because I'm older and I was a nobody. I would never. I wasn't gonna get made. I was educated, and but I miss that. Yeah, I had ulcers in my stomach at times, but I miss. See, people just think, oh, from Brooklyn. Oh, that's cool. A lot of the perception, with these channels, and they just think it's blood and guts, blood and guts, blood and guts every day. There was a lot of laughs and fun and going to the track. Fun times. Fun. It was, but that doesn't get YouTube views. They want to hear blood and guts and everything else. Oh, okay. My godfather did work for them. Yeah. Back when it was OTB killed it all. Yeah, they want their hands in everything. They ruin it all. But I miss all the people, and and a lot of them just are dead, or they died in prison, or they're just that's just that. Because I'm 59, and them guys would be 80. When I went down to New York, I had to meet somebody over there. Well, they must have had a ton of them. Was that in Brooklyn? Or just like... I honestly can't remember. Because, oh, no kidding. That was an era. That was the best era. That was just the best era of time. That was. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My eyes are shot. Man, they sent it in. Them guys sent it in. The guys in the Niagara Falls. Jeez. Most of the guys in those crew, they're all degenerate gamblers. Hustle, 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 and then just send it all in, send it all in. And then I was running errands. I was doing nothing. But then I'd hear all the bad beats and everything else. And it's just like, oh, geez. Gosh. Nobody died with any money. Nobody died with anything. No real estate, no property. All that energy. Yeah, you just see this. You could go in OTB in 1980 and go back in the year 2000. You see the same guys. I drove to Belmont. Once upon a time, I had to see a guy from Western New York. I drove down there, and I got there real early. And a friend of mine I knew from Western New York, his father was a handicapper and had in a newspaper, and he was sleeping and living in his car. In New Jersey, he had the car dealership in New Jersey. My father's brother. Yeah. My Uncle Tony, that I wasn't really familiar with. Yeah. He was a car salesman there. He was a car salesman there. When I went to New York to visit my or when my father passed away, and I went, he worked at that huge dealership in New Jersey. It would have to be in New Jersey because New York State the city just don't have that type of, they don't have that kind of property. But I get older and these things slip out of my mind. But there were stories about the guy that there were stories about them guys. They had a lot of money. Well, they got an inventory of 20 million in cars. They could get 100 million in credit, but my uncle was there for a little period of time. I wasn't close to my father's side of the family down there. My father was out of the picture. He was no good. God rest his soul. But yeah, that's interesting stuff, man. Mike, I really appreciate you keeping me company, and it's fun to talk about that stuff. I have a small channel, and I do the spiritual thing at the end and everything, but if you get monetized, but you gotta have a lot of views. You can get subscribers, but sometimes the subscribers won't equal the views. Like I got 120 subscribers and I might get 25 views for this channel. You got to get views. You got to get something to go viral. And then you get monetized for the views. And they put ads on there and everything else. I will never reach that level, but I don't care. I just have fun on here. Get to communicate with somebody like you that I would never have a chance to communicate with. And I miss those days, Mike. Oh, all right. He's with Columbus? He's with the Columbus? Well, some of these guys switched families. Yeah, I got to do short videos. But I was going to cut this short, but I don't care. I'd rather talk to you. I'll do other videos. I'd rather talk to you because, the games don't start till 1, so that's all right. Sorry, folks out there, whatever, and I know you want to do this. I know the analytics and all that, but I don't get a chance to talk to good New Yorkers. So that's all right. My channel ain't going anywhere anyways. This is more fun. This is more fun to me, Mike. People that were around and, you probably were, I don't know, but I wasn't, I had no power at all. I had zero power. Yeah, I'm getting I'm going to go out in the streets and, do some different things. But I did my Godfather and Sammy the Bull, and I put it on Facebook, and it got like 3,000 views. I didn't even know it was doing that over there. Yeah, see my algorithm right now, I'm at the back of the bus. So if I don't put Mike Francis in my thumbnail or Sammy the Bull or something like that, it's not on the menu for Joe Blow scrolling through. So I got to whore myself out and put them in there. Like I said, I wasn't, but it's a hustle. But I want to be half legit. I mean, I don't know. It's entertainment. But Facebook, I just transferred my YouTube video over there, and I looked last night and it had 2,900 views on Facebook. So I don't, then people get pissed off. I put them in there and then I only tell a little story about whatever. Fuck shit. I got to start making shit up. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Thanks for that information, man. Thanks for that information. So after I reached 100 subscribers, I graduated to, I'm not the caboose anymore. I'm just one cart in front of the caboose. So because YouTube just says, if you can't even get 100 subscribers, you don't exist. But we'll move you up a little bit. You're still at the back of the line, but we'll move you a little closer so you'll be visible in that. Wow, I graduated to that because I didn't attain that level. Well, that's nice to know. Because I could only piggyback in the thumbnail, Mike Francis, Sammy the Bull, my Godfather, and then the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski. And how far can you go? But I just wanted, I do other videos where I just read the news off my phone. I scroll today's news. I give a commentary about that, and there might not be any gangster stuff in there. And that gets 17 views. But Mike Francis versus Sammy the Bull gets 395 views. So it's like, I got to whore myself out. And it's entertainment. And if they're lying, that's all right. Mike Francis, if he's telling lies on there, that's all right. He's hustling. That's his hustle. Sammy the Bull is Sammy the Bull. That's just Sammy the Bull. That's him. We're old. I would like to have coffee with him. We don't have to talk. I like his personality a little bit, but it's different. It's different. It'll make you nuts. You can get to 1K soon. My friend Tommy has 860 subscribers. He's doing a lot a year, but a lot of other shows promoted him also. But he's going to have Joey Merlino. Joey Merlino on soon, so that will get him. Yeah. I got nobody. It's just me, myself. I have nobody. Whatever I got, I had to script. I had to scratch for everything. Nobody's going to give me a shout out. But I built the foundation because analytics say that, I came this far. I don't have an introduction. I put the Paul McCartney song on here for my introduction, and I turn it off. I got these goofy lights, and I just wing it because, that's that. It is what it is, and I just go like that. But incrementally, when you rise up, then it branches out a little bit. But yeah, I just watched something. Yeah, I watch videos on them, but I can't recall because I'll sit till 4 a.m, Mike, and just look over everything. I got nothing better to do, and I'll just look at these videos and try to hear a name I know or something out of curiosity. I'm really sick. I'm really sick. Oh yeah. Oh, all right. But you see John A. Light and what was it, that Calandra? There are so many names out there. I used to be sharp with a photographic memory. Oh, okay. What about the other crazy psycho from Philly? The most too many names, Mike. Too many names. Okay. It came out later. Yes. Nicky Scarf. It came out that he was working with the FBI for 40 years. What? Who knows? Who knows? An old timer told me a long time ago, if he's alive at 70 and he's not in jail and he made it to 70, he worked. Oh, maybe it might be somebody else. Because he killed his own family, didn't he? He killed his own nephew, Nicky Scarfo. Oh, yes. Man, are you? Yes. Man, you're sharp. Jeez. Yeah. Scarpa with the. Man, holy cow. Who are you, Mike? Oh, please forgive me. Holy cow, you're good. Man, put your channel up there, because my mind, I'm shot. Oh, Philly and Natty. Jeez, man, are you good? Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I try to remember my Godfather. That was friendly with a lot of people and everything, and he was respected, and he knew people over there, and he used to tell me these. I don't even know if he rubbed elbows with some of them guys. Wow, man, you're an encyclopedia, bro. You're an encyclopedia. You have recall like that. Um, I died 8 years ago. I was dead from an overdose from fentanyl, and then my mind went blank, and now try to remember stuff. But I was highly educated in university, and whatever that means, and I got but I just straight off. So I got extra time, so I just yeah, gosh, I can't keep track of 5 families. Who was in this? I can't keep track just in common talk. And I have a YouTube channel where I'm trying to elaborate on some stories where honestly I can't even, but I'm honest about it. I'm honest about it. And I just try to figure some things out. But, the Lucchese, Genovese, Gambino, and, Colombo, and the Gallows, those Gallo brothers shooting up heroin. I shouldn't say that, but they were crazy. Yeah, some more crazier than others. But wow, man, you made my day, Mike. You made my day. You got recall. You got recall. You're my age? You said I'm 59. You got recall, bro. You got recall. I should have you on speed dial. If I ever get monetized, I'll give you 10% for. Oh wow! My Godfather did some workings with him, and there was another and his brother. They were barricaded in their they were barricaded in their apartment, and they barricaded themselves. They got him at Little Italy. You're Italian, Mike? Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't Little Italy sound so nice? I mean, 2 words, Little Italy. Just sounds so nice. It sounds, but yeah, they got oh, okay. Yeah. What's your last name? No, I'm just kidding. Oh boy. Uh, hey, what's your last name? No, it's all fun. It's all fun. See, I try to tell the stories, and I just busted them. I'm just busted. I just tried it because it's entertaining, and I won't get monetized. But I'm older. I'm in the house a lot more when I'm not gambling or at the track or anything. So it's a hobby. It's a hobby. But keeping track of the families, the captains, the associates, and man, that's hard to do. Yeah, that's hard to do. But you would know it on the snap of a finger. You would know. I could tell stories about some of my personal interactions and some things, but nobody ever told me like oh, no kidding, he went to Chinatown. Wow. Because they started pairing up with I don't know what the drugs in Harlem with a guy, the gallows with the drug business in Harlem and everything, and they're just like maybe breaking the rules. I can't remember the particulars. See, how am I going to have a channel when I can't, you know? Mm-hmm. They used to ask my Godfather to go with a cat, some guys once in a while. I'd be like, well, don't they just have a gun themselves? Or it's like, no, you got two guys maybe, and you think they'd know better than that, man. You think they would know better, but wow, oh gosh, yeah. Well, Tony, yeah, they're right here. Go ahead. You gonna pay me for this phone call? I would like to get compensated for this phone call. I was a little errand boy, but when I learned to have my hand out, yeah, I didn't want to be shy and timid, but it was like, you know what? Mm. And my godfather said, "Don't be shy because I'm gonna double check and everything because I got taken advantage of." And I would, I would, I would run errands, and I wasn't getting compensated until later on. But then it was made. Everybody got along. Everybody got along, and then I said, "Bye bye, bye bye. I don't need it. I don't need it." Oh yeah. Sammy seems like you could go. Did they get the blood off the walls? No, they didn't do that. Yeah. A lot of them went off and they lived on the island, Long Island, Staten Island, and they all went and got nice homes out there. That Long Island or Staten Island? Yeah. He liked racquetball because they played a lot of that in Staten Island. Oh, right. Yeah, I went out there. Hustle in the city, go out on Staten Island and live good. Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice. Yeah, it's fascinating, but all right. I was never uh My father got buried in a cemetery at Staten Island, and when I went down there to pay my respects, there was a cemetery there. That's where my father's buried. I don't even know the name of the cemetery, but my mother raised us kids by herself. My father wasn't too good. My mother left him, but he was buried in Staten Island. So oh yeah, I just was watching something about that with his nickname. Cause Sammy had a uh he was dyslexic or something, and they would pick on him. Cause the wise guy saw him beat his ass. But Sammy had a learning disability, I believe. And he dyslexic. Oh yeah. The Gottis, they always got something different to say. I mean, because they're the end all and everything, but that's a well, who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't in the room. But yeah, that's very interesting stuff. Wow, man. I'm glad you found my channel and I got some that's nice to know. That's nice to know because I don't get a lot. I try to tell these things. Movie deal. What gives in Berlin? These guys are just milking every penny. Well, you might as well. Better than hustling the unions. uh, better than shaking down somebody. But yeah, that's oh, all right. Wow. Because Sammy's got a more universal name than even Mike Francis, who has tons of subscribers. But Sammy the Bull is just the biggest name in gangsterdom for the world. So that show will be a hit automatically. That show's 1 to 9. It's a hit. 1 to 9. It'll be a big hit. Wow, man. Mike, I appreciate you taking the time out. And geez, I haven't I know a couple of old timers, they don't like to talk that much. No kidding. Wow. Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're smart. Yep, you gotta be smart. Yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. Whatever he does is gonna be a hit. I was born in Caledonian Hospital. We're on Avenue D and some number street. I don't think the hospital is still there. Caledonian Hospital. Avenue D with freaking Bensonhurst. Ralph Cramden was my neighbor. And my brother was born in Long Island. Oh, wow. Are you in Brooklyn? You probably already told me this, right? Ralph Cramden. Well, that was Bensonhurst. You see, people like they'll say Brook, but then there's all the other things, and they say, well, that's another. I can't keep track of all the different the sections. But as far as I'm concerned, Bensonhurst. Oh, okay. Like as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. Bensonhurst was like Brooklyn. I don't know. Everybody. I don't know. What does that even mean? Yeah. I think, was there a 187th? Was there a 187th? It's on my birth certificate right there, but I don't go. The numbers of the streets and all of that stuff. My grandparents lived on Avenue D. Oh, Tommaso's. Wow. All those numbered streets. If there's a 187th, I think that's where. Oh, okay. I think that's the number that was put down on my birth certificate at Caledonian Hospital. 187th. But they had all those different sections within them sections. And it's like, wow. I can't remember them all. Oh, this was I can't remember them. I got too much brain damage. My mind was wiped clean from no oxygen in my brain when I was down. Then I came back to life, but they wouldn't have thought I could regain as much knowledge but I did it somehow. But 10 years ago, I think that's where my buddy brung me. We were a couple of years ago. We went down there. He had to do something. We were gambling and everything. Well, I started taking opiates, and I did fentanyl, and I went down and I was dead, and they found me. They revived me after over an hour or so, but they figured I would have brain damage and be institutionalized. And I was on life support for a long time, and I finally came back. But when I came back, I didn't know my name. I didn't know what a human being was. My mind was totally blank. Total brain damage. If he does come back to life, he's going to be a vegetable, and you probably have to pull the plug on him. So I liked opiates later on in life. And then they came out with the garbage fentanyl, and it was straight up. My buddy died the same day. Yeah, we were getting it, and we know we know the properties and characteristics of heroin, and we were getting it, and I said, my friend, this is some kind of synthetic shit. This isn't heroin. And he's like, well, it makes me feel all right, and I was like, this is something different. And the day I made that statement, we both went home from the city, and we both overdosed. He died, and I survived. And they were dropping like flies. They were dropping like flies. The day I went down, yeah, yeah, it was medicine-y. It was like I knew it wasn't a regular opiate. And about 37 people went down that day, and one survived. There was an article on it, and they showed me at the rehab place an article, and the counselor lady showed me and said, "Look at that article." And it was like, yeah, that same date, January 18th. I said, 37 people died, and one survived. I go, wow, what a lucky bastard that was. The one person that she goes, that's you dumb bastard. So I was one that survived on that day of 30-something overdoses. But I was in the hospital a long time. I was on life support for a long time, strapped in with leather straps. Yeah. And I had this vendetta when I got my bearings back and my senses back, that I was going to go after this drug dealer and plot on him. I was going to plot on him. Yeah. Yeah. That was the last time I ever, that was 10 years ago. That was the last time. I don't even take an Excedrin. I don't even take an aspirin. I don't want to know nothing. That was the last time. And I was going to plot on that guy. And when I finally got my bearings a little bit better in the hospital, I was planning how to get this guy in a certain spot and get him. But for what? I'm a big boy. Anything could happen in that world. And this was when it first came. This is when it first was flying up here from Pennsylvania, wherever the hell they were coming from. But like, is there really even heroin out in the streets anymore? It's all this garbage. Everything's done. Everything's done. Everything's done. I got some injuries and all stuff like that, and I could probably get opiate from a doctor. I don't want it. I'm high on life now. I enjoy. I'm 59 years old. I don't want to be married to no drug, getting refills on and all of that. No. I did that for a limited period of time of my life, and then I got killed by it, and I came back. So, and during that period of time, people were visiting me in the hospital when I got my senses, and they were going like, "Did you hear about your friend so and so? Well, they're dead. Did you hear about your friend so and so? They're dead." It was like every day somebody I knew was dying from it. These dealers are putting that out there. They just don't use old-fashioned heroin. I'd like to get. I better stop. I'd like to stop. I better stop. So, Mike, I thank you for coming in. I'm going to get rolling here. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me out here. Thank you, buddy. And thank you for your knowledge and information. So I do these all the time, and I have a lot of fun. So I really appreciate your help. So I'm going to sign off here, and that's that. So it would be nice to have a cup of coffee with you sometime. So thank you very much. All right, folks, there it is today. I had a very special guest here with me, and I appreciate it. And be the kings and queens of your worlds. Don't give up. Don't give up. The world is a vampire. The world will smack you down. Don't give up. things will get better. All right. So let's hang in there. Let's laugh. Let's have a happy day. Let's hit all our parlays. And if you don't, we'll try again next week. All right. So God bless you all. Thank you so much, Leon and Mike. I hope to hear from you again. God bless.